Outside of one obvious caveat, the health of the Witcher franchise is actually in a pretty good place in regards to the books at the tail end of last year, at least in its native tongue. The series had got a new update with Crossroads of Ravens, and within the past 6 weeks, it finally got an English translation. So yeah, from what I'm seeing right now, it's being received fairly well, and on the gaming front, arguably, I don't know, man, maybe this is a little bit contentious, but I would say it's probably in its most popular venue. It's actually getting some good news for once, because we're coming up on a year, right? Because if you recall, at the Game Awards last year, The Witcher 4 and its interesting look into Ciri and how she's going to be taking up the mantle of The Witcher, well, it got its debut, and less said about CD Projekt Red and some of its exploits over this past year, the better. But this is probably the best news that we've gotten out of this so far, because the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's loss is The Witcher 4's gain, as CD Projekt Red picks up the lead gameplay designer behind one of the best parts of the action RPG. Because yeah, okay, there's going to be some problem with some of the plotting, and oh my god, my gay character with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and yeah, we talked about that ad nauseum at the beginning of the year. It's weird, right? Because now we're getting within, the last few weeks of 2025, which is wild in and of itself. I just really forgot about all of the big things that happened this year and how they were just kind of condensed into these epochs, and then there were long stretches of nothing. 2025 has been a very strange year. But yes, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, when it first came out, okay, like everybody who played the game, genuinely enjoyed it, okay, at least in regards to gameplay. So if this is the guy who's coming over and he's responsible for a lot of the technical contributions, well, I would consider that to be a boon. One excellent open world RPG to hopefully another. The lead gameplay designer of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's hardcore mode has joined CD Projekt Red to work as a senior quest designer on Witcher 4, which is, I kind of think, is a promotion. He's definitely going like Warhorse Studios, okay, like it was an indie and that it ended up getting a big influx of Xbox money. That is one of the Xbox affiliated titles that released this year that is probably not going to get shut down. That was one of the very few that did succeed and had a pretty good life cycle. But CD Projekt Red, at this point in time, it's a much bigger studio. But yes, Carl Coleman is probably best known for being the devilish mind behind the game's hardcore mode, though he has also created intricate features such as the criminality system, okay, which dictates how NPCs react to you based on your actions. Okay, cool. So while Coleman hasn't revealed which Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 quests he's worked on, according to his LinkedIn, he designed 11 of those missions, including all of the dialogue and cutscenes, as well as completely scripting 2 of them. As of May this year, the game has sold more than 3 million copies, and with many open-world RPGs, the side quests are considered one of the best parts of the experience. So yeah, if that's the guy who's coming over, okay, for a game that definitely needs as much help as it can get, good for you guys. You definitely take the wins there, because in regards to the other prong of the triumvirate of popular, or at least a notable Witcher adaptations, the TV show, not exactly doing that much in order to drive people to the franchise, as Witcher Season 4 suffers a dramatic drop in viewership compared to previous seasons. And shout out to, I can't believe I'm going to say this, IGN for a pretty in-depth analysis of how poor Season 4 has gone. What are we, 2 weeks removed? This shit dropped on the 30th of October, and it is completely and totally out of the news cycle, mostly because nobody's watching this shit. Okay, like, it was absolutely doomed before it released, and yeah, it performed about as well as people anticipated, okay? Which is to say, the absolute pits. Okay, so The Witcher Season 4 looks like it's having a hard time compared to previous seasons of the Netflix series, with viewership data showing a dramatic decline. Season 4, and the upcoming 5th and final season, Netflix replaced, Henry Cavill with Liam Hemsworth as Geralt, following the former Superman's actor exit at the end of Season 3. Season 4 made its debut on the 30th of October, with all 8 episodes, and met, with a mixed response from fans. I don't really think if it was mixed from fans, maybe from critics, but just go ahead and take a look at any of those aggregate sites, not even just Rotten Tomatoes, which is overwhelmingly skewed because of its terrible methodology. Like, nobody's defending this shit. But yes, even IGN gave it with their patented 7. According to What's on Netflix, Season 4 has struggled for views in its launch week. It landed at number 2 on Netflix's English TV list with 7.4 million views across its first 4 days of availability. The comparisons make for a tough reading if you're Netflix, so you don't have those figures for the breakout first season. Oh yeah, we don't. They do, but we don't. Season 2, in its first week had first week views of 18.5 million. Ooh, and Season 3 had 15.2. For the extra context, animated spin-off, well, it's not animated, it was just really trash. The Witcher Blood Origins had 4.6 million cumulative views in its first week. Well, there's a nuance. And that came out like right around Christmas when people are around to watch stuff. That just lets you know just how awful that was. The nuance has to be found with these comparisons. Season 3 was a split release, for example. It cannot be denied that Season 4 of The Witcher has disappointed. Yes, in a note to the press, media analytics company Samba TV delivered its own verdict to The Witcher 4, saying 577,000 U.S. households watched Season 4, Episode 1 during the launch window. That fucking stinks. That's down 35% from the 88.5 thousand households that watched Season 3, Episode 1 that was already mired in the controversy of its leading actor already dipping out of the show during the same launch window period. So yeah, cast your mind back 6 years to the launch of The Witcher and one of the hottest TV shows on the planet. In January of 2020, Netflix said that The Witcher Season 1 was on track to become its biggest Season 1 TV series ever on the streaming platform, with a huge 76 million member households watching it for the first 4 weeks of release. It was so big that it drove up sales of the CD Projekt Red video games, the books upon which they were based, and even spawned a viral musical hit. Yes, exactly. Toss a coin to your Witcher. They have been chasing that dragon ever since. You'd worry for the future of The Witcher if you had any other Netflix show, but already you know how this one ends, the confirmed 5th and final season. In truth, The Witcher has endured a rocky road ever since Cavill's dramatic exit. The show has faced a backlash from some fans who adored Cavill's portrayal of Geralt because, yeah, he actually gave a shit about the source material, and it feels like it wouldn't have mattered who had replaced him. Well, if it was somebody of equal standing, someone of equal care, yeah, of course, there was always going to be a knock-on after the fact. But instead, you just literally put an empty suit up there. So yeah, it went about as bad as you could get. But yes, such was the sentiment after the news broke in 2022. And they had an entire season to come out, knowing that they were, well, as you can see here, it's still unknown why Cavill left, but the actor said in November of 2021 that he was absolutely committed to a 7-season run of The Witcher. But now it's been cut off at 5. That's interesting. As long as we can keep telling great stories which honor Sapkowski's work. Yeah, and then they didn't. And then he left the show. I wonder why he left. In September, Liam Hemsworth spoke for the first time about replacing Cavill, admitting reactions online forced him off social media and the internet. Last year, speaking to Collider, Siri actress Freya Allen said she felt sorry for Hemsworth for having to take over for Cavill in what was not an ideal situation. Well, do tell us more there, sweetie. I feel sorry for him, obviously, because number one, that the fan base is very attacky. Oh my god. Again, like, let's just go ahead and point you to Cavill's. This is why the people like him, okay, myself included. Go ahead and point you to an interview that he was given in regards, and I'm pretty sure it was to promote The Witcher, but at least it had a Witcher backdrop, when he was asked about toxic fans and how Henry spun it, as opposed to everybody else. Oh, I need to hide from these attacky fans. It's like, no, just tell the stories that are in the books, adapt them to the best of your abilities. It doesn't have to be a one-for-one reprint. You can have a little bit of creative liberty, but when you do something so antithetical to the books, you do something so completely different than the video games, of course you're going to get this response. What are you, fucking retarded? But I'm really excited to see what he does, and he's such a lovely guy, and I just hope that people give him the time of day. Long story short, they didn't. But yes, The Witcher showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich has defended the approach taken in the Netflix adaptation, insisting the show exists in addition to the books and the video games. One of the things that I've talked about a lot to the author, what's his name? Lauren, what's the name of the author of these books? Michael Moorcock. No one is taking the video games away. I think everyone should have their own version of The Witcher, and this is this version. And that's why your 7-season roadmap has been chopped down to 5, and it would have been chopped down to 4 had you not filmed season 5 back to back with this absolute fart in the wind that is The Witcher season 4. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.